All right, I think we'll go ahead and get started. All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 2025 Stethoscope ceremony. My name is Grant Wilson, and it is my pleasure to be here tonight. I was going to say, you may be wondering who I am, but there we are. So I am a proud graduate of Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, the class of 2023. Thank you. So I consider it a privilege to be able to welcome you all to the Johns Hopkins family. Welcome. I am now currently a Osler Medicine resident in my third and final year of internal medicine residency at Johns Hopkins. And I am currently also applying for cardiology fellowship. So I wanted to just start a little bit by talking about med school. So med school, if you haven't learned this already, as I'm sure you will, you kind of rely on a lot of associations and some mnemonics. And so I wanted to talk with you about why a stethoscope is meaningful to me using some associations and mnemonics. So we use our stethoscopes to listen to our heart and lungs. All right. And, we like to use medical terms around here. So the lungs are studied, the lung doctor is a pulmonologist. And we also like abbreviations in medicine. And so when you don't consult pulmonology, you consult pulm, okay? So we've got stethoscope, listen to heart and lungs, pulmonology, pulm, okay? So let's talk through the mnemonic now of why a stethoscope is meaningful to me. So P stands for profession. I think that a stethoscope is meaningful because it is emblematic and representative of the profession of medicine. I had a professor in college tell me the difference between a profession and a job. And a profession is something that is more than a job. It's a calling that's built on mastery. It's founded in ethics, and it is part of the public trust. The public trusts you to be physicians, to take care of them, to have knowledge and expertise that they may not have. To help take care of them. So a stethoscope is representative of your profession that you are now stepping into as first-year medical students. U is for useful. I want you to remember that a stethoscope is part of a physical exam, and a physical exam is a powerful way of connecting with a patient. When you listen to someone's heart and lungs, you're about 18 inches from their face. I don't know about you, but I like my personal space bubble, so a patient is trusting you to be in their space and to perform that physical examination, to have that healing touch. L is for life-changing and life-saving. You're entering a profession that will change lives, that you will save lives as well. And that's a weighty responsibility, but you all are up to the task, and I want you to remember that each day. And then M is for meaningful. Patients and the conversations that you'll have with them will leave lasting impressions on you and on the patients that you're taking care of. I want you to remember that because being a physician is more than just what you know. It's about caring about the person in front of you and having meaning with them. And so those are the mnemonic that I'd like you to remember for stethoscopes. P for profession, U for useful, L for life-changing and life-saving, and M for meaningful. And before we move on with the rest of our night, I just want to remind you of a few brief instructions. First, I know it's tough not to open the thing right in front of you, but please hold off on opening your stethoscope boxes until you're instructed to do so. We'll open them at the right moment, I promise. Second, you'll notice some blank thank you cards and pens that are right in front of you. These stethoscopes have been provided by the Johns Hopkins Alumni Association, which is a huge gift. It speaks to the Johns Hopkins family that you're becoming a part of, that alumni who have since graduated are now giving you your very first stethoscope. So we'd like if you could write a thank you message to them. Don't worry about how to address it. You can just say, "Dear Doctor," that would be just fine. And then perhaps, most importantly tonight, I want you to enjoy the incredible speakers that you're about to hear from. And then later we'll get to dinner. So now it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Muncie, who is the Vice President of the Johns Hopkins Medicine Alumni Association.
Well, great. Tough act to follow. That was a great speech. Thank you, Grant. Good evening. Thank you to all of you first years, to Dr. Wilson, Dr. Espenshade, Dr. Deweese, and as always, to Jamie. Thank you for inviting me to this initiation and welcoming ceremony. Because isn't that what all this is? An initiation? You, the Johns Hopkins Medicine class of 2029, tonight are initiated into the same family, like Dr. Wilson said, that I was initiated into in the class of 2009. This family, also known as the Johns Hopkins Medical and Alumni Association, includes all graduates of Hopkins Med, whether by degree or by training or by teaching. So in other words, we are your intellectual ancestors. We walked here before you. We hoped and dreamed here before you, like you hope and dream tonight. Guess what else we did? We felt shame, worry, imposter syndrome, and fear. So if you feel these things also, it's okay. It's okay because we, the ancestors, have been there before you too. Just like your physical ancestors, who you may refer to as grandma and grandpa, abuelo and abuela, we're pulling for you. And by the way, we're not some distant birthday card, hello and goodbye, abuelas. We are checking up on you. We're asking, have you had a snack? Are you wearing your sweaters? That's the type of abuelas we are. We're taking you to dinner multiple times throughout the years. Every year, there's going to be multiple Dine with a Doc opportunities, and I want you to take us up on it. We're checking up on your professors and asking them for reports. And guess what else? We are giving you money for you to continue to do your excellent work in the community. But tonight, specifically, we bestow upon you the physical manifestation of all of this upcoming support. Tonight, you embark on a perilous and sometimes seemingly impossible life quest of becoming a physician. And tonight, your ancestors help guide you in that quest with a 200-year-old inheritance, the stethoscope. This one here, where my name has rubbed off, is the inheritance that my ancestors gave to me. And I haven't stopped using it since the day that I got it. When you use yours, when you take out yours tonight, every single time you use it, I want you to think, here is proof of my 35,000 ancestor strong safety net. This is a living safety net of the Alumni Association. And actually, since I'm giving advice tonight, allow Abuela Janina to give you a little bit more perspective also. Because tonight you're not just joining the family, you're joining the family lineage of Hopkins Med. And in our family lineage, we talk about Halstead, we talk about Cushing, we talk about Thomas, we talk about Tausig. But do you know who else we talk about? We talk about Dr. Giovanni Bizaya, who is a pediatric ENT that I found through the Alumni Association when my child was just days old and needed surgery. And tonight, you're next in that lineage. Because in just a few years, you will become another ancestor. I'm just future you. Your classmates will name check one of you in one of these speeches. It'll be your turn to cheer on the new ones, to sponsor a stethoscope, to donate time, money, expertise. But before you embark on your quest of becoming an ancestor like me, first, you must celebrate. So tonight, as we initiate you into the family of Hopkins Med alumni, I embrace you. I applaud you. And on behalf of all of your ancestors, on behalf of all of your abuelas in the Johns Hopkins Medical Alumni Association, welcome home.
Thank you, Abuela. It's much appreciated. Good evening, everyone, both here and on the live stream. My name is Peter Espinchade. I'm the interim vice dean for education in the School of Medicine, and it's really a pleasure to be here tonight to celebrate such a pivotal moment with our medical students as they set out on their medical careers. To our first-year students, welcome. The Stethoscope ceremony marks a profound milestone, the official beginning of your hands-on journey in medicine. This instrument that you'll receive tonight is far more than just a tool. It's a symbol of trust, responsibility, and the deep connection you will forge with your future patients. As someone who holds a PhD degree and not an MD, my own journey in science has been focused on understanding the fundamental mechanisms in life and disease. While my path differs from yours, we share a common purpose to advance human health and well-being. The world of healthcare is vast and interconnected. It thrives on the collaborations between clinicians, researchers, public health experts, and innovators of all disciplines. Your journey as physicians will be deeply intertwined with scientific discovery and the relentless pursuit of new knowledge, a pursuit that defines Johns Hopkins medicine. You'll be entering a field that demands not only clinical expertise, but also a profound understanding of the human condition, empathy, and a commitment to lifelong learning. These are qualities that resonate deeply across all scientific and health professions. So this evening, we want to take a moment to express our deepest gratitude to the generous donors who've made this event possible. Through their incredible support of the campaign, funds were raised not only for these stethoscopes that you'll receive tonight, but also for the white coats that will symbolize your formal entry into the profession this spring. Their belief in your potential and in the future of medicine is a testament to the enduring spirit of philanthropy that underpins Johns Hopkins. Please join me in a round of applause for those dedicated donors. As we gather here tonight, we also reflect on a remarkable legacy. This year marks the 150th anniversary of the founding of the Johns Hopkins University. For a century and a half, Johns Hopkins has been at the forefront of discovery, education, and patient care, a legacy built on innovation, rigor, and a commitment to serving humanity. You are now part of this extraordinary history, carrying forward a tradition of excellence that will shape the next 150 years. So I'll close with just some brief advice. Each of you is embarking, as has been noted, on an incredible, challenging, and profoundly rewarding journey. The stethoscope that you're about to receive will be your constant companion, a silent witness to countless moments of healing, discovery, and human connection. Embrace this journey with curiosity, compassion, and courage. The world needs your dedication, your intellect, and your unique contributions. Now it's my distinct pleasure to introduce a leader who embodies the very best of Johns Hopkins medicine and who will share further insights on this momentous occasion. Please join me in welcoming the Dean of the School of Medicine and CEO of Johns Hopkins Medicine, Dr. Ted DeWeese.
Good evening, everybody. It is an absolute pleasure for me to be here. I haven't had the opportunity to meet more than one or two of the first-year class, so to all of you, welcome to Johns Hopkins. This is such a special night, not just for you, but for all of us. I think getting the stethoscope, this ceremony itself, as you've already heard from my dear colleagues, does represent, I think, the first of the most important sort of rites of passage in medicine. And at the risk of repeating a few of my colleagues, particularly Grant's comments, I think they're worth it. That's mine. 1987, same one, different earpieces, but same one. And yes, my name is rubbed off on this thing. In fact, unfortunately, see, This I got from some sort of drug company, because in the days when drug companies could still come in, and I'm afraid, I don't even think people deliver this drug much anymore. I mean some cimetidine here and there, but not Tagamet per se, anyway. So the point is, I've had it all those years, and I remember the first time, and it really resonated with me what you said, Grant, because to me, right, the first thing to remember, this is the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine. It's the finest school of medicine in the world. You have a responsibility to each other, to your patients, to uphold those traditions that we just heard about. Most important of which is, remember, the first physician-in-chief of Johns Hopkins, William Osler, had many, many bits of advice. I'm certainly not capable or appropriate to even provide that same level of advice. He was a remarkable human being. But the one that is worth always remembering, because it is sort of the core feature of one of his bits of advice, was just listen to your patient, because they'll tell you what's wrong with them. And I will tell you, over the course of my career as an oncologist, almost uniform, you could get away with not doing many, many, many tests. If you've learned at the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine and you just listen, most of the time you can sort of figure it out. And I think that's emblematic for tonight and for what this is. You're going to see a patient. And what are they're coming to you at some of the scariest points in their life. They're in the ED, had a car accident. Oh my, they don't know what's happening. They have a new lump somewhere and they're coming to see an oncologist. Very scary. They're very vulnerable. And what do they want from you? That you're looking at them, you're seeing them, you're listening to them. They feel like you're engaged with them. They need they need to feel trusted and feel that engagement with you. And then now you've known this person that you've never seen before for maybe, 15 minutes, and they're going to undress, and they're going to allow you to come that close to them and put your hands on them and this device on them. Think about the trust that engenders. And that's what this is. As you've already heard, you're actually listening again to them. And it's I believe wholeheartedly, that first physical exam with that patient, after you've engaged them, really personally listening to them, repeated some of the things they've said, trying to learn about who they are, not just their disease, but who they are. Now you've laid hands on them and your stethoscope. It's the first step in their healing. Now they know somebody listens to them. They have some trust in you. And you now have a bit of a technology that you're applying to them. So it's really that first engagement. And it is still to this day one of the most satisfying things, because sadly in the job I have now, I hardly get to see patients anymore. Although that's why I'm in the home team uniform today, because I got to see 3 of my follow-up patients, one of whom I treated 20 years ago, and I saw someone today. So it's an unbelievable profession. And this is the first connection that we typically make with a patient. So it is so rewarding for me to be here with you, to be able to share this moment. So before you get to open your Nimbus 2000 right in front of you there, which, by the way, I think this is a Littman 2. And what are you guys on to now? Littman 4. That's why I look like this, by the way. You're a 3. They're down to 4. Just think someday you get to be bald with a gray mustache, too. So before you do that, I just want to ask you one more time, if you would, so we can thank our Alumni Association. You've heard all that they do. These are not cheap. You just heard that. They're not cheap. And there's so many more things they do, but you know what's the best part about it? Our Alumni Association loves to give this away. You are part of the Johns Hopkins family. This is a deep, storied tradition. It's really important that we continue to live together. The world's a complicated place right now in all kinds of ways. The industry that we inhabit is under a particular lens right now. But you know what? Society needs us. Society needs all of you more than ever. And in particular, society needs what Johns Hopkins does, and you are part of this family now. So let me give you a couple pointers before you get to ride on that Nimbus 2000. Is that still a thing? I mean, I remember my daughter talking about that. Okay, so here you go, stethoscope. You always put it in with the earpieces pointed towards your eyes, because if you put it in towards this direction, it's going to be really uncomfortable. You can't hear a doggone thing. So you see it's focused forward, so you put it in that way, and you pretty much don't push it in. It will seat itself because it's sort of spring-loaded, so it'll go in like that. This is the, there's the tubing, got it. This is the interesting part here. So the diaphragm, that's the flat part here. And so that's mostly for listening to high-pitched sounds, generally speaking. So like the major heart sounds, that lub-dub sound here. Lung sounds, as we heard from Grant. And then you turn it, and now you have the bell part. And the bell part is to listen to lower frequency sounds. For example, murmurs in the heart, or bowel sounds, sometimes up in the neck, the aberrant flow that goes through vessels, so the bruits, as it's called. All right, let's open them up. And let's practice once here, once you open them up. So 3, 2, 1, congratulations on this. Okay, everybody. So we're going to all do this together so everybody can have had the same experience. Okay, so remember, hold it up and make sure those are pointing forward. They're pointing out, the earpieces, not the other way around. Okay, you're going to put it in your ear. Now I'm going to speak to you and you're going to say, wait, you just put that in. Okay, the diaphragm side, you're going to go to your sternum, go about halfway down, and then just to the left of that and place it right there. And by the way, the Dean and CEO still has a heart. I just heard it, I promise. I still have a heart. So those are the two sounds you're hearing, that lub-dub, lub-dub. And so remember, if because you're in anatomy right now, right? So that first sound is when the mitral valve and the tricuspid valve are closing during systole, so blood doesn't go back out of the heart. And then the second sound, right, when the aortic valve and pulmonic valve are closing during diastole, so the blood doesn't flow back in. So congratulations again. Congratulations on being here, and congratulations on choosing the finest profession that one could ever embark upon. You're doing it at the finest medical school with the finest alumni association and a mediocre dean CEO. But I want to congratulate you all. Thanks again to the Alumni Association and to all of your families. You should be very proud of the students who are sitting here in front of me tonight. Congratulations again, and let me turn it back over to Grant.
All right, thank you very much for your remarks, Dr. DeWeese. I just have a few housekeeping items to review before we end. First, please just leave the thank you notes that you've written on the tables. We'll collect them and send them to the alumni that have donated very kindly for these stethoscopes. Next, when you exit the auditorium, please just head upstairs to the atrium and have a buffet dinner to celebrate this momentous occasion and this very important milestone in your career as a physician. There's a photo booth up there, so please take lots of pictures, grab your friends, grab your stethoscopes, and memorialize this event. And you can take the photos home with you. I hope you all have enjoyed this evening. Once again, welcome to the Johns Hopkins family and the legacy that you're stepping into. And on behalf of the Johns Hopkins Medicine Alumni Association, we wish you all the best as you embark on your medical career. Thank you.